Can you solve all these Class 4 Computer Chapter 3 Hardware and Software questions? Computer program. Right choice. Software is the best answer. Name one hardware. Correct response. A DVD is the most accurate answer. Scanner is a dash. Excellent. Hardware input is a brilliant choice. Full form of RAM is. Excellent choice. Random access memory is the right answer. Mouse is a hardware. Well done. True is the right choice. DVD is an example of. You're right. Secondary memory is the correct answer. Games are a software. Nice work. You chose true, and it is correct. Is a hardware a game? Solid response. No is a valid choice. A soft copy is a dash. Correct. File in the computer is the right answer. Operating system is. On track. System software is the correct answer. Mesword is a hardware. Sharp thinking. False is the right choice. You can touch software. Great thinking. False is the right choice. It is an output device. Nicely done. Speakers is a solid answer. Keyboard isn't hardware. Smart pick. False is the correct choice. Dash is an input device. Great job. Scanner is the accurate answer. What do you mean by IPO? Valid point. Input process output is true. The full form of it is. Well picked. Information and communication technology is the correct answer. Is PowerPoint a software? Right again. True is a valid answer. Examples of hardware are. Bravo. All of these is the answer. The full form of Oz is dash. Good job. Your answer operating system works well here. A scanner is an input device. Good thinking. True is the right answer. RAM is a non-volatile memory. Clear logic. Your choice false is sound and 100% true. A printer is an output device. Exactly. True makes sense and it is right choice. Find out the full form of CRET. Perfect. Cathode ray tube is the correct choice. Which of these are software? Nice selection. Internet Explorer is the correct and valid answer. Software can be classified as. You chose application and system software, and it is correct. USB memory is a peripheral of. Smart move. Storage is an accurate answer. How does a computer system work? Well reasoned. Input process output is the correct choice. A group of cell is called a dash. Strong choice. Cell range is the right answer. A SPU is divided into dash parts. You got it? Your choice 3 is right. The main storage of your computer. Exactly. Hard drive makes sense and it is right choice. Dash apps are used for presenting. Perfect. Presentation is the correct choice. An example of software would be Dash.
On track. Ms. PowerPoint is the correct answer.
Which of the following is a software? Right again. Microsoft Office Word is a valid answer. It is the logical part of a computer. Strong choice. Software is the right answer. What are examples of computer hardware?
Bravo, CPU is the answer.
Dash is an example of internal hardware. Well done. RAM is the right choice. What is an example of computer software? You're right. MS Excel is the correct answer. Dash are two types of software. Right choice. System application is the best answer. Which of the following shows the output? Valid point. Monitor is true. An example of a system software is MacOS. Well reasoned. True is the correct choice. Physical parts of a computer are known as. You got it. Your choice hardware is right. What do you call the two types of hardware? Good job. Your answer internal and external works well here. The brain of a computer is main memory. Excellent choice. False is the right answer. Dash apps are used for creating documents. Correct response. Word processor is the most accurate answer. Which one of these is not an input device? Nice work. You chose printer and it is correct. Which part of CPU does all the calculation? Sharp thinking. A loo is the right choice. Which of the following is an output device? Smart pick. Printer is the correct choice. Dash is the main storage device of computer. Great job. Hard disk is the accurate answer. The smallest measuring unit of data is dash. Clear logic. Your choice bit is sound and 100% true. Which of the following is a hardware device? Solid response. All of these is a valid choice. A computer has two main parts, dash and dash. You chose hardware, software, and it is correct. Dash is designed to perform a particular task. Well picked. Application software is the correct answer. A computer is the combination of a dash and dash. Nicely done. Hardware software is a solid answer. Which among these is not application software? Great thinking. Operating system is the right choice.
The Paint program is used for drawing pictures.
Good thinking. True is the right answer. Programs that give instruction to the computer. Smart move. Software is an accurate answer. Disk cleanup is an example of utility software.
Correct. True is the right answer.
What is the shortcut key to print any document? Nice selection. Ctrl plus P is the correct and valid answer. A light pen is used only with the LED monitors. Excellent. False is a brilliant choice. The software is the physical part of a computer. Perfect. False is the correct choice. Dash helps in organizing data in tabular format. Well picked. Spreadsheet is the correct answer.
The types of network that we use in our school is Smart PIC.
LAN is the correct choice.
The DAS manages the overall working of a computer.
Great job. Operating system is the accurate answer.
Which of these is an example of computer hardware?
Valid point. Most is true.
An example of the computer's hardware would be Dash.
Right choice. Speakers is the best answer.
What do you call the parts that make up a computer?
You got it? Your choice hardware is right.
Is Minecraft a piece of hardware or is it software?
Smart move. Software is an accurate answer. A pointing device that has an LED light in its body. Clear logic. Your choice mouse is sound and 100% true.
The physical components of a computer are called its.
Nice selection. Hardware is the correct and valid answer.
Set of programs performing a specific task is called.
Right again. Application software is a valid answer.
What tells the hardware what to do and how to do it?
Well reasoned. Software is the correct choice.
What language is software designed and developed in?
Great thinking. High-level language is the right choice.
Set of Dash given to the computer is called software.
Bravo. Instructions is the answer.
Dash software is used to create students' report card.
Exactly. Spreadsheet makes sense, and it is right choice.
The physical objects that make up the computer system.
You're right. Hardware is the correct answer.
Part of the computer that you can touch is called Dash.
Correct response. Hardware is the most accurate answer.
Which of the following is not an application software?
You chose operating system, and it is correct.
Which of the following is the type of general software?
Nicely done. Ms. Word is a solid answer.
The circuit board on which the microprocessor is fixed.
Strong choice. Motherboard is the right answer.
What do we call to the operations done by a software?
Solid response. Processing is a valid choice.
Dash software coordinates different parts of computer.
Sharp thinking. System is the right choice.
What do you call the programs that help a computer run?
Excellent. Software is a brilliant choice.
Which thing controls the overall working of a computer?
Good job. Your answer operating system works well here.
Is Google Chrome a piece of hardware or is it software?
Well done. Software is the right choice.
True or false? Wi-Fi routers are an example of a software.
Excellent choice. False is the right answer.
Select the input devices that are used to take pictures.
Nice work. You chose webcam and it is correct.
Hardware is the technology that you can physically touch.
On track. True is the correct answer.
The devices that give us output are called input devices.
Good thinking. False is the right answer. A device commonly seen in video parlors for playing games.
Correct. Joystick is the right answer. Dash apps are used for organizing and calculating numbers. Great thinking. Spreadsheet is the right choice. Is a computer mouse a piece of hardware or is it software? Correct response. Hardware is the most accurate answer. Dash is an application software that lets you draw paint.
Correct, Ms. Paint is the right answer.
Dash allows the user to type information into the computer. Great job. Keyboard is the accurate answer.
Which of the following devices are known as input devices?
Perfect. Keyboard, microphone, joystick is the correct choice. What lets the computer's hardware and software work together? Well picked. Operating system is the correct answer. The dash is any part of the computer that you can see or touch. Well done. Hardware is the right choice. Is Microsoft PowerPoint a piece of hardware or is it software? Excellent. Software is a brilliant choice. The devices that give results after processing are called dash. Right choice. Output devices is the best answer. A group of instructions given to the computer to work is called. Nice selection. Software is the correct and valid answer. These are the parts of the computer that you can touch and feel. Good job. Your answer hardware works well here. Which of the following is not considered as part of a computer? Nicely done. Remote is a solid answer. The physical part of the computer that you can touch and feel is. Right again. Hardware is a valid answer.
Read-only memory store data or instructions that need to be dash.
Smart move. Permanent is an accurate answer.
Keyboard, mouse, microphone, scanner are which type of hardware?
Excellent choice. Hardware input is the right answer. Is a printer an example of an internal or external computer part? On track. External is the correct answer. Which one of the following is not an example of a storage device? Clear logic. Your choice webcam is sound and 100% true. Application software controls the overall operations of computer. Valid point. False is true. True or false? Hardware and software work together to form a system. Strong choice. True is the right answer. Which functions in Excel tells how many numeric entries are there? Solid response. Count is a valid choice. Flate, a software, is a set of instructions that tell a computer what to do. Bravo. True is the answer. Dash software is used to communicate or connect two or more computer. Well reasoned. Communication software is the correct choice. What is the intersection of a column and a row on a worksheet called? Nice work. You chose cell, and it is correct. The parts of a computer that can be touched and seen are called dash. Sharp thinking. Hardware is the right choice. What software would you need to search for something on the computer?
You got it? Your choice internet browser is right.
A projector displays images or moving picture using the rays or light.
Good thinking. True is the right answer.
A part of the computer that displays the information in readable form.
Smart pick. Monitor is the correct choice.
The software which controls other software is called the dash software.
You're right. System is the correct answer.
Dash apps are used for searching and accessing websites in the internet.
Exactly. Browser makes sense, and it is right choice.
We should not take printout unless absolutely necessary. This saves paper.
You chose true, and it is correct. Software with which you interact the most to perform tasks on the computer is... Exactly. Application software makes sense, and it is right choice.
The software that can do a specific type of work is called system software.
Nice selection. False is the correct and valid answer.
A set of instructions that tells computer what and how to perform is known as.
Sharp thinking. Software is the right choice. It is a machine that can be instructed to carry out sequences of instructions. Great thinking. Computer is the right choice. Part of the computer that controls the input and output devices is called dash. Good thinking. Software is the right answer.
Which of these is used to direct the operation of a computer using instruction?
Valid point. Software is true. The physical components of a computer found inside of the computer is known as... Correct. Internal hardware is the right answer.
In the simplest terms, a computer is a machine that stores and processes what?
Excellent choice. Data is the right answer. The set of instructions that tells the hardware how to perform a particular task. Right again. Software is a valid answer. Parts of the computer that is tangible or the physical components of the computer. Correct response. Hardware is the most accurate answer.
What are two hardware components you would need to make a video call on the computer?
Clear logic. Your choice monitor and camera is sound and 100% true.
A kind of software that performs user tasks such as word processing and web browsers.
Great job. Application software is the accurate answer.
Is Microsoft Word a piece of hardware or is it software?
Bravo. Software is the answer. Software is a set of instruction that you can't touch but helps the computer to do a specific work. Strong choice. True is the right answer.
There are two types of operating system: single-user operating system and multi-user operating system.
Excellent. True is a brilliant choice.
Sheila wants to draw a greeting card using a specific software. Which type of software will she use?
Well reasoned. Miss Paint is the correct choice.
Which software can be used to create a presentation using text, graphics, animation, audio, and video?
Well picked. Google Slides is the correct answer.
It is a set of instructions and documentation that tells a computer what to do or how to perform a task.
You're right.
Computer software is the correct answer.
Antivirus software is designed to protect computers from an assortment of viruses and unauthorized intrusions. You got it? Your choice, true, is right. Choose the correct option. Perfect. Hardware is the correct choice. A computer case, a computer tower? Solid response. Hardware is a valid choice. What is this piece of hardware? Nice work. You chose tower computer case, and it is correct. A curriculum vitae in word as dash. On track. Software is the correct answer. The given image is av and dash device. Well done. Processing is the right choice. The software is classified into 3 parts. They are all the programs and applications that allow the user to perform their daily tasks. Smart pick. System software is the correct choice. What do you call the app with this logo? You chose Docs, and it is correct. Is a game controller hardware or software? Good job. Your answer, hardware, works well here. These are the examples of operating systems. Nicely done. True is a solid answer. The central processing unit is sometimes known as the dash. Smart move. Brain of the computer is an accurate answer. An expansion board that controls and produces video on the monitor. Right choice. Graphic card is the best answer. How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format. Correct. Contact Narayan Changda on Facebook is the right answer.